let's talk about pregnancy. I have my blue light glasses on, so I really mean business. Okay. These aren't even real glasses. This is just for like blue light at nighttime. But I felt like, this is such a good topic that I had to like look more serious for you. Like a cardigan would have probably sealed the deal. But listen, we're here to talk about pregnancy. Okay. I even have notes out. That's how you know that this is really business. Okay. I'm not pregnant. Okay. So let's just get that out the way. I'm not pregnant yet. But the reason for today's episode is because I feel like getting ready for pregnancy is almost, if not more important than what you're doing during your pregnancy. And maybe that's not like fully, completely correct. But the point that I'm trying to get into, honestly, I literally can't wear this. Like it's hurting my eyes. Let's just pretend that I still look as like serious and studious without my blue light glasses. Okay. Getting ready for pregnancy is extremely important. And it's not a subject that you hear a lot about. Like, obviously, women talk a lot about how to take care of yourself when you're pregnant, what to do when you're pregnant, what vitamins to take when you're pregnant, exercises to do when you're pregnant. Everything is like when you're already pregnant. Think about this. Would you run a marathon, right, without ever prepping for a marathon? Probably not, unless you're like literally insane. Most people, right? Most people would go and train to run a marathon and then run the marathon. And I feel like people forget that pregnancy itself is somewhat kind of like a marathon. Like you have to be ready to be pregnant. Like you can't just, I mean, you obviously can't just get pregnant and, it'll be fine, hopefully, like one way or another. Like things can still all be great. You might go try to run a marathon even though you've never ran one, and you might be in a good enough shape where you complete the marathon and it was all okay. Or it might be a little too overwhelming and too stressful in your body and you weren't prepared and it might get a little complicated. Maybe you sprain a little ankle, maybe you pass out from being dehydrated because you didn't prep. Okay. And I have been learning and studying, which is why I have this. I don't have any of the studies on here, but what I do have is basically my plan. Okay. This is all to say that I am getting ready for pregnancy. I'm obviously not pregnant, right? Remember that I said that I'm not pregnant yet, but considering what I've been like hearing from like experts that I like listen to and take their advice from, it is really important to obviously prepare your body one way or another for the act of being pregnant. Pregnancy itself is already like a lot on the body, and obviously our bodies are made for this transformation and the creation of children, but it's still important to kind of become the best version of yourself before that happens, because in our everyday kind of like life to life, we're not as fit as we used to be like back in the good old caveman days. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not running around all day and I don't know, like climbing trees and like running from tigers and bears and stuff. Like we're not doing that, okay? So we're not as active, we're not as like ready for this transformation. We might be ready in the sense of like medical intervention, which is great that we have other resources to help, but those should kind of be used in case of emergency. That's how I see it. Like I feel like medical intervention with pregnancies should come obviously when something is maybe not going perfect or ideal, or there's a complication or a risk factor, because at the end of the day you are designed to give birth. And as long as you're healthy and your baby's healthy, you should relatively be able to do that on your own. And so just having the luxury of having emergency access doesn't mean that you're no longer responsible for having a healthy pregnancy, because at the end of the day you're going to be paying the cost. You and your baby are going to be paying the cost of an unhealthy pregnancy. Sometimes, okay, I don't want people to obviously misinterpret this. Obviously there's things that even if you're completely healthy and your partner was completely healthy, like things just happen. It is nature that there could be complications or other risk factors. But with that being said, obviously there's a lot that you can do and your partner can do to contribute to you having a really healthy pregnancy. And that comes not during your pregnancy. Like a lot of that comes prior to your pregnancy, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. There's obviously so much that you can do and like vitamins and this and that. But today we're just going to focus on like what I consider are kind of like the main three, the big dogs of getting ready for pregnancy, which is what you're eating and consuming, your physical health, obviously, like exercising, stuff like that, mobility, and also your mental health slash strength and I guess like mental preparation for pregnancy. So let's just break them each down, okay? Starting off with food. Obviously, what you're consuming is, affecting your health every day and your well being. And that also kind of affects like the quality of your eggs. And this is also true for men. What a man is consuming prior to him and you collabing on a child affects actually the quality of your placenta. Like it's the man's uh sperm and DNA and I guess like what's the technical term? Maybe I should have came in here with some technical terms. You know what? Let me put on my glasses for this part. Maybe all the big words will come back to me. A man's health and what he's intaking and not intaking a couple months prior to you guys again collabing on this kid will kind of determine the health of your placenta, aka a lot of the health of your pregnancy, because the placenta determines things like, for example, like morning sickness. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that it's your man's fault if you had a little bit of morning sickness. So you better beat his ass if you did. You cannot be mad at him. It's not just on you. You do have a big role to play, obviously, in your own pregnancy, but so does the man. So what he's eating, what he's drinking or not drinking, so like alcohol or drugs or the quality of that food, same thing for you. Like the quality of your food, if it's processed, if it's cooked in inflammatory oils, if it's non-organic versus organic, the things in your environment, like for example, if you're using a lot of like artificial scents, like house scents or perfumes, and all these things add up. Okay. If you watch my last episode, the 25 things I'm no longer buying in 2025, you'll see a full list of things that kind of affect the inside of your body health wise, like food related and obviously other environmental factors that we can kind of control. These things are going to play a huge role in the quality of your eggs and the quality of his sperm. And you want good swimmers with the perfect DNA. You want them to be strong. You want to have a healthy baby and a healthy pregnancy. Then you're going to both have to try and take this serious. 6 months to 12 months, I say in advance, would be like ideal. Obviously, if you've been healthy your whole life, girl, then you're golden. Like you're literally golden. But if you maybe have just been living a little life, you're in your party stage. This is giving me a headache again. Maybe you're in your party stage and you're like, okay, I've been drinking and stuff, but maybe in the next year we'll be ready to like settle down and have kids. Maybe you need to start cutting back on the drinking and the partying and the bad foods from now. 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, anything that you could do in advance. I mean, you could prepare for the marathon within a year, or you could prepare for a marathon within 6 months or 3 months. Obviously, the longer you prepare for this marathon, the easier and better it'll be. But any preparation is better than no preparation. So keep that in mind. Even if you're like, damn, I was trying to have a baby next week, girl, you know, get ready right now. You got a whole week. It's better than nothing. Okay. But obviously, the longer the better. So that's that for like the inside health stuff, like what you're putting into your body, what you're consuming, what you're eating, what you're drinking, what you're not drinking. That stuff is obviously really, really important for both mommy and daddy. Honestly, everything I'm going to say right now applies to mommy and daddy. Like you're both collabing. Like his DNA, even though you think I'm the one carrying the pregnancy and it's me who has to eat healthy throughout the pregnancy and all these things, like that's true. But also, the sperm quality determines a lot. So let's not count them out, okay? They still got to put in that work and stop being bad. Next is basically your physical health. Obviously, if you're running this marathon, you need to be in good shape, okay? You need to have a strong core. You need to have like good cardio, good. I've never run a marathon. So let's just get back to pregnancy. For pregnancy, you're going to have to be physically fit like as much as you can, obviously the better, because you're creating a whole baby. First of all, it's going to be taxing on your body, so the stronger that you are, the easier it'll be for you to carry out this pregnancy, and also the more flexible and strong that your core is, and all these other things will help you throughout labor, which is why they say for women to try and stay somewhat active during pregnancy, like getting your steps in and doing all these things. But this is also true before pregnancy. Like, if you're not used to walking 10,000 steps a day before you're pregnant, it's going to be way harder to do it when you're pregnant. It's already kind of like a little bit of a task now. Like, nobody just wants to get up and go walk 10,000 steps a day. So imagine when you're pregnant and a little out of breath and there's like a baby in there like squishing all your organs. That's not going to be any easier. So, if you already have the strength pre-pregnancy, it's going to make that journey a little bit easier. Being flexible, helping with like obviously giving birth. You don't just want to start stretching out your hips a week before birth. Like, obviously, if you're prepping from before, this is going to be ideal. Same thing with having like a really strong core. I know a lot of us girls get really scared when it comes to like the cosmetic side effects of giving birth. And as sad as some people might be like, that's so sad, like that you care about that stuff or that you're putting vanity over this, but it's not really one or the other. Like, obviously, as women, we really care about ourselves and we don't just want to feel like, girl, what happened to me after our pregnancies. So having a strong core is something that can really help you bounce back. Like, that term is so annoying, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it's something that can help you with your recovery and your postpartum, and just not just obviously like the pregnancy itself and the giving birth itself, but also after that. Like, after that, when you're trying to get your stomach to be strong again, and like your stomach just stretched out to fit a whole human inside of it. And now you're done. Now you're trying to, get back to your favorite clothes. And there's nothing wrong with that. But obviously, having that strong core and other muscles and just having an overall fit body before, during, and after your pregnancy is going to help with all of those stages. It's going to help with how your pregnancy feels on you, like how taxing it may feel. It's going to help with your birth, obviously, because if you're more fit, then these things will help you give birth. Like, if you have good cardio, if you're good at breathing, if you have strong abs that can help push this baby out, if you have like a good back, and like all the muscles in your body work together as like a machine to like help you do any and every workout. And giving birth, that's going to be a big workout, girl. Like, F a marathon. Like, that's like an Olympic superset right there. Okay. So you're really gonna need your body at its best. And what a better time to start than before? Because if you're not good at lifting and running and walking up a hill now, you think it's gonna be easier when there's a human inside your belly? Exactly. So getting your physical health in check, that's number two. And number three, and this is not just for mom, first of all. And second of all, this is also not the least important. This might even be number one. Okay, maybe not. Maybe they're all like, I actually think they're all even, but the mental strength and the mental preparation and the knowledge that you'll have up here is going to take you so far in your pregnancy, and obviously in your delivery and postpartum as well. And this isn't just for mom, this is also for dad, because obviously having the mental preparation is going to help you in your marathon. Like, exactly what we've been talking about. Imagine you're in this marathon and you're feeling tired. If you've been preparing for this marathon, you know that you can push past that feeling of like, ugh, I'm so tired, I want to stop. Because you've been training, you've felt that feeling so many times, and you're like, no, I know that my body's trying to protect me by making me stop, but right now is when I have to go harder. Right now is when I have to push through it. I'm almost at the finish line. I'm not going to stop now. When you're feeling like, oh my God, I can't breathe, all that mental training of like how to breathe and relaxing through that run is going to come into play. Because obviously, if you haven't prepared for that, then you're going to feel out of breath. You're going to feel like your chest is beating out of your heart, and your chest is beating out of your heart's beating out of your chest. And you're gonna feel like, girl, I wanna stop in this marathon right now, like F that finish line. And you can't do that during birth, okay? You literally can't give up. So when you get your mind ready to push past those moments, to be able to relax when the contractions may feel intense, to be able to reframe how scary movies and people portray birth. Obviously, birth can be scary and things can happen and things do happen, and women do go through traumatic births and stuff like that, but that's not supposed to be the norm, right? Like, if you think about what's normal, it will be for us to have like a healthy pregnancy and a healthy birth. So the abnormal scenarios shouldn't always just scare you. You know, if you're prepared mentally, if you've been reading books about how to give birth, if you know what you're supposed to do, what your body's supposed to do, if you know like all the things that are coming, you won't be surprised every time that something is happening during your birth. And even if you're going to have somebody helping you during your birth, whether it's a doula or a midwife, or maybe you're going to go to the hospital and you're going to have medical professionals help you throughout your birth, whatever you decide or ends up happening during your birth, you still want to have an informed birth and an informed pregnancy where it's not just people telling you what's happening and you have no prior knowledge or your own say or your own basically knowledge to like balance what people are telling you. Because for example, if you've been going to the gym for years, right, if you're a gym goer, you've been studying form and what are the best workouts and what are the best sets and reps and this and that, and you get a coach because you're gonna do a show, you're gonna do like a gym, what are they called, like a fitness show, I don't even know, they're called a fitness show, like I don't know, when you work on your muscles and you spray tan and then you like on the stage, right? Let's say you're gonna do that, you get an official coach. That coach may tell you, oh, I want you to train like this and this and this and that. And then at some point you might be like, okay, like I see why you're recommending this, but I know for my specific body, like maybe that workout doesn't work as good as it does for others. Like I just never have the form right. It doesn't feel good. It always like hurts this other part, like whatever it is, like you are also informed and now you can have two knowledgeable people or three knowledgeable people or whatever. Like now the team of knowledge is bigger because nobody knows you as best as you know you. Like think, if you're going to a hospital, majority of the people in that room are going to be meeting you for the first time. They don't know what you prefer, what you like, what your body's like, whatever, like they don't know these things. Like you need to know what works best for you, and then you can listen to the advice of other experts around you or whatever it is and kind of pick and choose what you feel like is going to be best for you rather than just going in there completely blindfolded and just guiding everything that other people are saying, because that's not really like the way that anything feels comfortable. You know, like even before you go and take a driving test, girl, like you have to study for the driver's test yourself. You go and practice. You don't just like show up one day and just try to do it and have somebody tell you, okay, this is how you drive right now. Like learn how to drive and get your driver's license all in the same moment. Like you need to do it so perfect from the first time. You've never known anything about it. It's like that's so scary and intimidating. And I know I've been talking about why being mentally fit is so important for birth, and that's obviously because it is, but it's also just as important for your pregnancy for all of the same reasons I just stated. There's going to be people around you telling you, "Hey, whatever, like whatever their advice is or their opinion is, like it's just going to be their word versus nothing. Like you don't have any knowledge to, you know, bounce back and forth to maybe be like, well, I also feel like this, or oh, maybe it's this. Like you don't have any knowledge to go back and forth on, then you're just going to have to be at the mercy of that person knowing what's best for you without you having any say or really any opinion, because you don't know what's going on. So you just have to trust that other person with you and your baby and hope that everything's going to be okay. So, in order for you to not feel like you don't have any control or you don't have any say or you don't know what's going on, the best thing that you could do is prepare for that and study pregnancy and read books about it and read books about birth and read books about postpartum or whatever is your choice of learning. Obviously, there's a great advantage in like reading books. Books have a lot of knowledge and you can, you know, see if the reviews are good and if other people agree or whatever, then maybe just like listening to anyone. But any type of research is better than no research. And this is really important to do before you're pregnant because you want to know what pregnancy is going to be like. You want to know what birth is going to be like. You want to be studying these things prior. You want to know what you're supposed to be eating during your pregnancy and before your pregnancy. And you want to know how to control your breath during birth giving so that you can support your body with contractions and what to expect and how to alleviate maybe certain symptoms or pains that you're having in your pregnancy. Like all of these things are based on research and knowledge and mentally preparing yourself. And it doesn't all have to be super serious, like books and this and that. There's also other things that you can do to kind of like prepare yourself for the mental challenge of giving birth, which is obviously like the painful part. I know this, if you've given birth and you're watching this video, you're gonna be like, girl, that is not the same thing at all. So don't make fun of me. But for example, when I'm doing yoga or really deep stretches, trying to like open up my hips or whatever, just getting like a really good flexible body, it starts to really, really hurt. If you've ever done deep stretches, you know just how much it can hurt and feel intense. And so I try to really relax my body through that, because it's like if you can't learn to relax your body during a deep, intense stretch, then you're definitely not going to be able to do it through a contraction. I mean, hello. So I try to like find little moments where maybe I feel like a lot of intense pain or something like that. So try to like put my mental strength to the test and try to like relax myself and breathe through it. And again, I know this doesn't compare at all to what birth is really like, but it's a step that you could do. It's something you could do every day when you're stretching or whatever. Is try to find a way to relax yourself in any of those uncomfortable scenarios. And also, this all applies to your partner as well. Like what I was saying, like get him to read these books with you. So now there's two of you that feel like, okay, we know what we're doing. We know what comes next. We know what's happening. We know what this is. We know these things. None of this is a surprise, you know? Get him to also understand the power of breathing and relaxation and all these things, because maybe you want him as a support system when you're giving birth and to hold your hand and to like guide you through it. And everything's better in a pair, girl. Like if you're both as healthy as you could be by not eating bad things and having a really clean diet, having a really healthy body, going to the gym or walking and strength training and doing whatever your version of getting your body to its best version is together, and also polishing your minds, getting it as strong as you can, learning as much as possible before your birth, before your pregnancy. These things are going to make you both feel super knowledgeable, super in control, and also you want to pass down the best genetics of both of you. So you have to think about it. Like you guys are literally creating a copy of each other, carbon copy, and creating a new human. So you want to copy the best version of you, the most strong version of you, the healthiest version of you, and the smartest version of you. So make sure you're reading and not just doom scrolling and being a loser. Like, let's not be losers. Let's be, the best versions of us, so we can make the best little mini versions of us. And anyways, that's my full list. That's all I had. Let's wrap it up with some glasses, okay? I hope that you girls really took something from this episode. I know that trying to take pregnancy serious before you're even looking at getting pregnant or wanting to get pregnant might seem a little absurd, but we are in our birth giving years. Like if you end up getting pregnant by accident and you're choosing to obviously carry out that pregnancy, you want to make sure that it's a healthy pregnancy. And so anytime during your birth giving years is a good time to start being at your best, at your healthiest. And you know what? Worst case scenario, you don't get pregnant. Now you're at least like a super healthy and smart human being, and it also helped you out in the end. So that's all that I have for today's episode. I hope that you girls get pregnant. I hope that you girls enjoy this episode. I love you all so much, and I will see you girls next Wednesday. Bye.